graphic, but I have a super high like arch. That was probably the weirdest clip ever.
Take it out, don't let it slow down. 'Cause this is different, this is patience. No, I'm never gonna waste it. Too much too soon, is it right now? Let me in, I'm waiting outside.
This is my now second favorite chapstick, thanks to Alex. He wasn't wrong about the candy cane chapstick being the best thing to come out at Christmas. Good morning and Merry Christmas. It's been a while since I have done a vlog and I needed to film today, but I woke up and I was like, what am I gonna film? Because today is actually my first day where I just get to work on client programs, and I'm gonna pack up my mom's presents because I get to go see my family this weekend in Georgia. So I will leave Saturday to do that. So I need to pack her presents up. I have not wrapped hers. Working a retail job during this time of the year, so bless all of you who do that. It is challenging. It's my second year doing it, and it didn't get easier. In fact, I think it got harder because I have like way more going on in my other business than I did last year at this time. But today, like, I get to do my routine and get back on my routine, which bless, because I need. So I woke up this morning, sent my progress pictures to my coach. I did have to sleep in a little bit longer because it is still so dark in the mornings. Like, why? It should be bright by 8 a.m. because my butt wakes up at 6 a.m. or earlier, and I need it to be bright. So I'm gonna need time to change back, please. That would be great. I am finishing up my Advent daily devotional. This is the other side of Christmas. And that is what my church gave out at the beginning of the Christmas holiday, and I've really enjoyed this daily devotional. So I paused on my Victory 365, which is the FCA daily devotional that I purchased because I wanted to work through this. Hopefully you guys had a Merry Christmas with all your loved ones. You enjoyed all the wonderful company of others and didn't worry about training and didn't worry about what you were gonna eat or what you got to eat, and you just like focused on the moments. This week I really tried to stress to my clients, like, it's not about, oh, I get to eat all the cookies because it's Christmas. It's about who I get to eat the cookies with. It's not about how many cookies did I eat or how many cookies do I get to eat. There's no anticipation of eating and there's no regret of eating. I think both mindsets are dysfunctional and can lead to mental dysfunctions from facing this holiday season. And I think it's about who I get to enjoy the cookies with rather than how many or how many did I have. Obviously, I don't expect, unless there are a few prepping, because there are early shows in the year, and that is a different story. That is a goal, and there are just things that you have to do to achieve that goal. However, for the other majority of us, you can and you should enjoy the holidays freely. Like, you should not have any sort of mental obligation to eat or not eat during the holidays, if that makes sense. And the best way for me to describe this is, it's not how many cookies did I eat mentally or how many cookies am I gonna get to eat mentally. Instead, switch it to who I get to eat cookies with, or who I get to enjoy, you know, Christmas morning breakfast with, and really relish in the moment. It's just, yeah, we all gotta get back on track. Yeah, it's gotta happen, because if we continued these habits, the majority of us would be in a bad state health-wise. It's not a bad state in your body, like how you look, it's your internal health. Like if we ate that way every single day, our internal health would not be right. So we have to all get back on to our daily routines, and that's where I'm gonna go ahead and get on my daily routine now, because this clip is really long, and I'm gonna train legs later, so that's gonna be fun, because I'm gonna try to get some of those clips. I promise. It's time. I am deadlifting today, and I know I've been talking to you guys about my deadlift practice, so I'm excited to share that with you and chat with you guys about my pull poverty, because it's basically, yeah, I can deadlift and pull only 10 or 15 pounds more than I can squat right now. Like, that's just not correct. Like, I should be able to pull far more than I can squat. So homegirl's got her work cut out for her this training cycle, but I'm excited about that, and I get to train with my friend Brittany. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my coffee and eat some breakfast, check my emails, and we'll get back to you guys in a hot minute. Probably going, what the heck is that clip about with a bunch of shoes? But this is not something I intended to talk about today, but somebody had asked me on Instagram about various training shoes, and I figured, it's after Christmas, so most people are probably like having a little extra spending cash or gift cards to spend on their fitness goals in 2018, or they are setting fitness goals in 2018 and they want attire or footwear to work towards that goal. So I thought this was a great topic. I preface this with, these are my preferences for training. I don't mean to put her on the spot, but I do want to explain her question. So she is saying she's looking for a new shoe that can support my weightlifting, i.e. squats, deadlifts, as well as my HIIT, sprints / burpees. I've seen some of your posts where it looks like you're wearing the Nike Romaleo 3s, which is the shoe I've come across in my searches, but there's mixed reviews, so I thought I'd ask. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. So I actually did respond to her with, unfortunately, there isn't a shoe that would do both of those things in my opinion and from my experience. Now, there are like Metcon shoes by Nike that are built for CrossFit athletes, and CrossFit, they combine all methods of training, both weightlifting, Olympic lifting, powerlifting, and cardio kind of all in one. And so those Metcons may be great. I've never worked with them or used them myself or had any feedback from clients on them, but those might be an option, not negating them. But for me, I do prefer my footwear to be more focused towards what I'm going to be doing in the gym that day. If it requires me to bring 2 pairs of shoes in a given gym day, so be it. So that is kind of the world I live in. But recently, HIIT training has been put back into my programming because A, I'm eating enough to support HIIT training, and B, it is not hindering my weight training and my progression in strength. At this point, well fed, well recovered, and not overtraining, so HIIT training is actually now been added to my programming. But today, I will be deadlifting and doing sprints after my deadlifts. So I'll be wearing flat bottom shoes or be going barefoot for my deadlifts. I prefer shoes actually than going barefoot because the gym I go to isn't very clean, and I don't trust that they clean the floor. So I would rather keep my shoes on. So I prefer a flat bottom shoe for doing deadlifts. I know a lot of people wear Chucks. Chucks for me, it's not one of my favorites. I don't know, it's just not as comfortable on my toe box. And I just really like the Gazelle toe box. It fits my foot. I have a pretty narrow foot, so that works out well. And there's a pretty decent amount of arch support, even for a flat bottom shoe. The Gazelle does provide that. I feel like there is absolutely no arch support in a Chuck Taylor. And without getting super graphic, but I have a super high like arch. That was probably the weirdest clip ever. I can pretty much stick a pencil completely underneath my foot and not even touch the foot on the other side. Neat fact about Chanel. So super high arch, probably should have been a ballerina if I was halfway coordinated enough to do so. But then I'm also gonna be doing my HIIT training. So there I'm going to be using a high arch support, very high tread, high cushion shoe for HIIT training. I do have a background in track, sprint, endurance running, and trail running. So I really prefer like a really aggressive tread. I just feel more grip on the surface, and I also plan to be doing some sprints outside once it does get warmer. So I wanted to find a shoe that would provide me all those things and be able to do sprints in. I'm not gonna do a lot of distance running in this, so I'm not worried about maybe wearing it out per se. So I just wanted a really good supportive shoe. So this is like an Adidas Boost, and it has great arch support, great comfort, and I feel a great cushion and bounce back on the shoe. When I'm doing HIIT training, that's what I'm looking for, is arch support, heel support, and the ball of my foot support. So I need that cushion and that bounce back on the shoe. Now that brings me to my squat shoes. Now, I use these for, these are the Nike Romaleos 3s. I had put them in my What's in My Gym Bag episode, so if you guys had watched that, you saw a little bit of information on the Nike Romaleos. But for me, I got these for squatting and for front squatting. And I did that because they actually pitch your foot forward and lift your heel off the ground, and they're nice and stiff and locked into the ground once you do go into the hole of the squat. And like I said, they do help you by pitching you forward in your mobility of your squat and improving getting out of the hole of your squat. I wanted to bring that up because she was thinking that these shoes would potentially be an all-encompassing fitness shoe for her. And that is far from true. This shoe is strictly for squatting movements or squat movements or for various Olympic lifting movements that require you to go into a squatted position of some sort. This is not for cardio. It is very stiff. I cannot even bend the shoe in either direction like I can this shoe. So that's the difference, is it's super stiff. So once you hit the ground for your squat and plant your feet, they are staying pretty still during the lift. That's the intention behind these shoes. And I unfortunately do see a ton of people deadlift in them. And I really would not suggest this because, like I said, it is pitching you forward. And the purpose of a deadlift is to be driving through the midfoot and the heel. And if your heel is not even touching the ground, then how are you activating your deadlift as well as you could be? You know, there's various things that people stand on and stuff to do different variations of a deadlift, but barbell hip thrust also, Really hope I answered her question for her. I basically explained to her that it's not really an all-encompassing shoe, unfortunately, and that she may want to look into some of those cross-training shoes. Cross-training shoes like the Nike Metcon are flat bottom. They tend to have a little bit more flexibility, but it's like you're gonna give one aspect of the intention of the shoe up for another all-encompassing aspect, if that makes sense. Each shoe I've shown you has a different intention in my practice, and it serves its own purpose, whereas there's not a specific shoe that I could wear all-encompassing, because I would be giving up one thing for another thing. It's just my personal preference. Like I said, I just want to share that with you guys because I figured it was a time of the year where it would be helpful to you guys, and maybe you had no idea of what kind of shoes would benefit you in your training. Hopefully that little chat helped you out. I'm gonna go deadlift now, so I'll be wearing these shoes, or I'll be going barefoot, just depending on how I feel. I do train a lot on how I feel, so I'm gonna go do that, go to the post office, and show you guys some training clips when I get back, and I'll see you guys in the gym.
You know how it feels. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. It's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
So what you're seeing here is the conclusion of my deadlift warm-up sets, and in the next clip you're going to see a side-by-side comparison of a previous deadlift form on the left
along with my attempt number 2 with the cues and help from my friend Brittany, who I'm recruiting now to help me with my deadlift form because she's stellar. Her 2 cues were to widen my stance a lot more significantly, out-turn my feet a lot more, and bring my grip in tighter as far as my hands go on the bar. And what you'll see is I'm actually able to move the bar a lot faster, and I'm able to descend more efficiently. Here's this clip again, and I just wanted to reiterate the cues to remember that she gave me and touch base on the more aggressive tucked pelvis, which is the 3rd cue listed here. And notice the reduction in the arch of the low back, leaving a more neutral spine. And this, I believe, was the key to my glutes staying active in the lift along with my hamstring engagement. And this resulted in a very smooth descent on the bar from the top, which I was really lacking before. The last thing I'm sharing with you guys from my workout footage is going to be this little chat about my sprint intervals. And as I said before, we're adding some sprint training back into my programming. We're starting off with 1 day a week, and then we're going to ramp it up to 2 days a week after we see how it does. I'm doing 5 by 20-second sprints. So that means I'm doing 5 20-second sprints followed by 40-second rest periods. We're adding these sprints simply because I am showing that I'm recovering from my training because my actual strength training is at a little bit lower volume. And I'm also showing resilient weight patterns, even though I'm being pretty well fed right now. I'm not in any sort of a deficit for my body, and I feel like I am actually at a really strong baseline right now, maintaining my weight, feeling good, recovering good. So that is why we're adding these sprints back in. Often I feel that when I've added sprints back in, it's a detriment to recovery or it's a detriment to my deficit, and it causes my weight to not change. I feel that often HIIT training is added as a means to cause more of a deficit in training or as a means to see weight move on the scale. However, it's such at a high, if you're truly training at a high intensity interval training, it sometimes can hurt recovery and therefore hurt weight loss / hurt fat loss. So now that I feel I'm really stable and resilient in my systems, I can start adding this back in. And again, this is just my feedback, biofeedback from cardio in particular. But I just wanted to also let you know that I have sped up the resting footage and kept my sprint footage in real time. It's so funny because you think you're actually like a gazelle on the treadmill because the motor and the belt push you and propel you. But I'm actually not really moving that fast from my background in sprint training and running. I just can see that my gait cycle could use some improvement, and I'm just a little bit rusty on my sprints here. Hopefully my camera doesn't cut you guys out, but it's saying I have like no battery left. All right, I just finished my workout with Brittany, and I just finished my sprints. She gave me some pointers on deadlifts, which I'm gonna give you guys, I think, some voiceovers here of those past clips. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that voiceover. And now a little bit of chat about my sprints. So I mentioned that in the shoe chat, but my sprints weren't being added because my system wasn't resilient enough to do so prior to. It was still in that kind of recovery phase from past dieting habits. And now that my body has become more resilient, I have plenty of food in me to work with, my body can handle the intensity of HIIT training. And I think often people confuse HIIT training for a fat loss tactic, which in different phases it can be. But in my dieting body, it wasn't ready for the intensity of HIIT training yet. I needed to recover fully. I needed to get my systems fully functioning, and then I could go back to HIIT training. And of course, food and feeling good and weight stabilization were all indicators of me being ready to do so. So I was able to get up to like a 12 on a treadmill. I've been kind of working up each week. I say each week, I've only been doing it for a week, but each session. So I stayed within the 10 to 11 range on the treadmill, and today I just bumped it up to a 12 to see how it felt. It felt pretty good. I keep the incline at a moderate flat, which is 2. I typically don't like the treadmill to be completely flat. I don't feel like it's a natural gait for me. A natural gait has a little bit of an incline, and it feels good on my hips that way. So there's some pointers if you ever tend to do treadmill sprints. I don't prefer them, but sometimes you just have to. Last thing I need to tell you guys is my Audacious Athlete Trainer is available online for purchase. So this is the ebook form. This does not include the community aspect. I will be launching phase 2, which includes the community aspect of the Facebook group, the live Facebook chats, but this is just the ebook, and it does include access to the Audacious Athlete Instagram account for your movement library, because all the movements that I feel that you might not know or might not know as well or need execution cues on, those are all in the Audacious Athlete Instagram account. So at my website, chanelcollette.com/beaudacious, you will find the ability to purchase phase 1 of my Audacious Athlete training series. With the holidays here, I'm giving you guys this program for $20 off. So it's the initial launch right before you guys need to get kickstarted for your new year, new fitness goals that you've set for yourself, or just you want new programs to start off the new year with. So it is available now to you guys, and phase 2 is under construction now, and that will be releasing shortly after the new year. So you definitely want to get on to phase 1 so you can kind of get your grasp, and then you can come join us in the community for phase 2. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, Merry Christmas, because Christmas continues past Christmas, and Happy New Year if this ends up being my last vlog before the new year, which it most likely will be because I'm going to visit my family. So love you guys. Mwah.